Prime Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you for those words which John's family will have heard. There are many members of this House who serve their constituents faithfully. Some deliver change for the entire country. Very few enter into public consciousness, let alone public affection. But John Prescott achieved all of those things. He was absolutely unique, and people loved him for it. He had the most extraordinary life, from failing his 11 plus, to stewarding Anthony Eden on a cruise ship, to being deputy leader of, as he described it, the greatest party that there is. And the longest serving deputy prime minister this country has ever had. An extraordinary life, Mr. Speaker. And yet, ordinary people across the nation felt that he was one of them. He told a story of working-class lad made good, who embodied the aspiration of working people across the entire country. People felt recognised in the struggles they have, the snobbery, the small-mindedness that still plagues politics even today. But also they felt that he understood and championed their ambitions, their hopes and their dreams. He was a politician for working people through and through. That was who he always was, a proud son of Wales and also an honorary son of the Humber. He served the city of Hull for 40 years, as you said, Mr. Speaker, and everyone knew that he loved it as fiercely as he fought for it. Everything he did was about making working people's lives better, and that was evident from his whole career. A career where he was often ahead of his time, Mr. Speaker. He led, as you said, on climate change, fighting regional inequality, supporting the minimum wage, working to transform public transport, building council houses, and even completing the Channel Tunnel. In many ways, he set the path that we walk today. Because, make no mistake, Mr. Speaker, he did things his own way and forged his own path. And in doing so, he brought about some of the greatest transformation this country has ever seen, the linchpin of New Labour. Because beneath the pugnacious exterior, John was a skilled negotiator, sometimes with immense and perhaps surprising sensitivity. He had an incredible skill, which was the ability to bring people together from different starting points, whether that was his work on climate negotiations or closer at home in his own party, to stand together in a better place. And that sums up another thing that the public, I think, sensed about John. He was not in it for himself. He was willing to work with people that he didn't agree with, as well as challenge those that he usually did agree with. He had great self-awareness, great humility, and if he disagreed fiercely in private, he would do so. And then he would defend the line, often improved because of his intervention, in public to the hilt. He was a team player, and he was proud to play for Team Labour. And, Mr. Speaker, that was never more evident than during the campaign season, when it was time to bring out the battle bus, which has become a tradition that our Deputy Prime Minister proudly continued this year. Because the Prescott Express was a morale boost to any campaign. It may have been arriving in a Tesco car park, but John was always met with a reception like Beatlemania. And no wonder, Mr. Speaker, the public were at the heart of John's politics. And it's clear the public had a particular place in their heart for him too. And that was key to his popularity. And indeed, after the famous incident, it was the public who came out swinging for him. Because that night, as you can imagine, Labour campaigners were anxiously dispatched to the most accurate focus group that there is, the local pub, to hear what people were saying. And reports, Mr. Speaker, were clear. The public had his back, just as he had always had theirs. And so Tony Blair, my predecessor, said simply then, John is John. And he was, Mr. Speaker. John was John. And he will live on in Labour legend and in the memory, I think, of everybody in this House now and who's served when he's been in the House, and in the affection of the nation. We remember today his wife, Pauline, and we send our love and condolences to his family and his loved ones. We stand with the people of Hull, the working people across the country, to say thank you, John, for a lifetime of service, for a genuine character, for a changed nation, and, Mr. Speaker, may he rest in peace. Yeah. Thank you very much.